so lost. He was just searching for one to dump out. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone, we are going to roll on with our media availabilities here. We're now joined by Ryan Blaney, driver the number 12 Ford for Team Penske. If you have a question for Ryan, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start up front here with Cameron.
Cameron Richardson, NASCAR.com. I just asked Bubba this when he was in here, but how has your friendship sort of evolved over the years as you guys experience Cup together? You celebrate career milestones with your Co 600 win and his Brickyard 400 win, and now personal milestones as both of you will be dads.
Yeah, I like him less and less every year. No, it's honestly, it's been super unique. Like, you know, we started racing Bandoleros together when we were 9 and raced together for a long time. And then our career paths kind of separated a little bit. He went a different form of late model racing than me, and then ran K&N East for a while I was kind of still late model racing and figuring out what we could do. And then our paths crossed back again a little bit in K&N and then trucks and all the way up to Cup. So I don't think either of us, when we were 9 or 10 years old, would ever think we'd be where we are 20 years later. It's pretty unique, pretty fortunate for both of us to get some awesome opportunities with some great teams and great people to be around and, you know, have good careers and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's always fun to celebrate. You know, it's an interesting dynamic. Like, you know, you're competing with everybody out there, but you're happy when your friends are successful and they win. And I went over to Bubba's house Sunday night after Indy to celebrate that and couldn't miss that one. And so, yeah, it's cool. And then next stages of your life, right? Marriage and his kid's 9 months, mine's on the way, and we'll be able to, you know, hopefully they'll have the same friendship that he and I had growing up together. So, yeah, it's just we're both really lucky to have been able to do what we've been able to do and stay, you know, really close through the years.
Any additional? We'll go back up front here to Lee and then Steven.
Tim Moore Motorsports Day. Ryan, I know you guys didn't get to do the tire test in June, but Austin did. Just how much do you guys expect the track to change this time around from the second go from the repave?
Yeah, you know, talking to him about that tire test, you know, it's kind of hard to get a huge read on that because you're going through so many different sets of tires and things like that, and then they just kind of eventually land on one, and you try to look at all the notes of like, okay, this tire set kind of did this a little bit differently, but I think the asphalt definitely looks a lot lighter than last year. Like it's taken some wear, and in the Xfinity practice, it was nice. Like they were in the second groove immediately. And so I think it's going to be pretty racy. Honestly, this racetrack was racy last year when, you know, the second lane came in, and honestly, you kind of had like 2.5, 3 lanes really at the end of the day. So curious to see what the tire does. Talking to some Xfinity guys after practice, like they thought it was a little bit less grip than what it was last year, and I think that's just going to get worse and worse as the weekend goes on and rubber gets laid down and the track continues to lose a little bit of grip. So I think it surprised everybody how good the racing was here last year, like the groove widening out, and I think it's going to be even better this year once the corner speeds slow down a little bit. I think it's going to help. So.
And I just want to go back to Bubba real quick, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this should be the first time where you, Chase, Bubba are all in the playoffs at the same time. Is there going to be any extra wagering or anything? You guys having friendly competition?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be some smack talk a little bit, but yeah, it goes back to that dynamic. Like, it's tough. Your buddies, and honestly, like, us three race each other harder than anybody out there, but we respect each other, and we race each other super hard because we know that no one's going to do anything foolish around you, right? Like, Bubba and I fly to most races together. That would be an awkward plane ride back if he and I wrecked each other, which it's probably going to happen in this deal at some point. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, all three of us make it to Phoenix. That'd be a pretty cool story.
We'll go to Lee, Steven, and then Philip.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and CatchFence.com. The Penske cars usually pick up the pace in the playoffs, but my question is, you've had a rough first 22 races, you know, ups, downs. How do you build that consistency before the postseason hits?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's kind of like, it stinks this year because, you know, the last couple years, I feel like, you know, we've been a little bit behind through the first half of the year, and then we kind of have really been able to figure it out towards the end of the regular season, especially the playoffs. But this year, I feel like we've had speed all year. We've had that speed that we've been chasing the last couple of years early in the season, and it's just been a little bit rougher of a year for at least my group. All I can speak in is my group, but with a lot more DNFs than I personally would like. But I personally think that we are in a great spot as a team. I like where the 12 group's at right now. I've always tried to base it on like, okay, are your cars where they need to be? They can always be better. Gibbs and Hendrick, I feel like in 2311, they've gotten a little bit better here the last 3 weeks. And we got to find a little bit of pace. But like, is our cars where they need to be? Preparing for this last month? Is your group operating well together? And I feel like we are doing a great job on pit road. I feel like we're doing a great job in week of race prep, communication with each other. Jonathan and I are in a great spot. So I think we are kind of all geared up where we need to be. It's just a matter of trying to smooth some things out. And some of those things, you feel like you do everything right, and it just really isn't your day, or you get caught up in something. I feel like that's kind of been our year. But I do like where our team's at. Hopefully we got all the bad stuff out of the way early, and we can really show some strength here in the playoffs and make another run at it. But I've been proud of the effort so far this year with our group.
We'll go to Steven and then Philip.
Steven Stun, frontstretch.com. Ryan, the MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol is tonight. Will you be watching the game, and how important is a game like this important for NASCAR in terms of generating that crossover appeal with other sports?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It looks really, really neat. I was watching Marty Smith and Ryan McGee this morning on Sports Center, kind of previewing it, and they were there, and kind of seeing all the layout in person and stuff or not in person, but through the TV, and I think it's going to be fantastic. If I was around, I would definitely go, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Hopefully it's not once in a lifetime. Hopefully that becomes a normal thing. I don't know how much work it is for the Speedway. I'm sure it's a lot of work to do, but I'll be tuning in. It's just going to be a great setting, and I think it's important, that was it Virginia Tech, Tennessee, a handful of years ago, I think they played there. So you had college football. Now you got MLB. Who knows what you can do? I mean, that's like the perfect venue for something like that, from crossover sports. And, you could put a soccer match in there. What do they call it? A pitch. The pitch is their field. But, you can do anything. And so I'll definitely be tuning in tonight. There's be something cool, and I think it's important. I think it's great that MLB and NASCAR could kind of work together and kind of do a little cross promo.
We'll go to Philip and then Wyatt.
Ryan, Philip Jones here from the Des Moines Register again. It's great to talk to you. A couple quick but related things. How many friends and family do you have here this year?
We got a few less than last year. We have 80 instead of 85. So a few of them bailed.
I know this isn't a crown jewel, but in the last 14 months, have you thought about what this win? Can you talk a little about what this win meant to you last year, given your ties to Central Iowa?
Yeah, to me personally, in my mind, it was a crown jewel for me personally, just because my ties to here, and it's where my mom's from, and I spent a lot of time up here as a kid at my grandparents' house, and it's really special to come back, see a bunch of family members who you grew up with, see a bunch of them that you maybe have never spent too much time with since I moved away from here. It's really special, and it's even more special this year. My grandmother, my mom's mom, passed a few months ago, and so that was special for her when we won last year to kind of remember that with her, and so hopefully she's with us this weekend and stuff like that. But it's, to me, in my heart, it's a crown jewel, just because I have a lot of ties to here, and we got a lot of people to celebrate, and hopefully we can do it again and hang with them after the race.
Yeah, I was just going to say, quick follow, what would it mean for you to follow it up and win again?
That would be great. I mean, multiple reasons of, just getting back to victory lane and then doing it again here. Like I said, it was great to do it last year in kind of dominant fashion, and you have high hopes of hopefully you can just contend like you did last year. That's all you can hope for, is contend for the win. And it would definitely mean a ton. Just the hard part's getting the job done, and hopefully we're up for that.
We'll go to Wyatt and then Jerry and then Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, Watson, frontstretch.com. To kind of follow up off that, Team Penske seems to have a trend of winning inaugural events like last year at Iowa with Joey Logano winning a couple over the last couple of years. How much does it mean to add your name to that last year with winning the inaugural race here at Iowa?
Yeah, we've kind of made a name for ourselves with Team Penske of winning inaugural races and stuff like that. And I think it comes down to the people and the prep work that we do. You know, the work of just not really knowing much going into the weekend, and it's just everybody at our race shop banding together and unloading close to where you need to be, but also being open to throw everything at it over the race weekend. So that really just all comes down to them and their preparation of what they do during the week and the months leading up to the race. So hopefully it's the same trend. I know it's their second time here, but yeah, that's all just the people who prepare for this thing and make it a little bit easier for me to drive the race car. It makes me look good.
How do you think the pavement, like the new repave on the bottom lane, will change after a year of weathering from the deep Iowa winter that we
Yeah, I don't know. I'll know better in about an hour. You know, talking to those guys after the tire test and some of these guys when they were done practicing, like, seems like it lost a little bit of grip, which is common. Pavement, like I said earlier, definitely looks lighter than before, and usually that means less grip. But yeah, we'll see. I was excited that the groove moved up the racetrack. A lot of these guys are qualifying in the second lane and a half up. So I think it's going to put on an even better show. Corner speeds might be down like a little bit, but I think that's a good thing. So yeah, we just have to find out. Like I said, I have a better answer for you in about an hour or two if I came back in here. You're welcome.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. You're one of the favorites to win here in the repeat this year, but temperatures outside today, tomorrow are a lot less than what they were last year. Is that going to affect you in the car? And also, you know, Bubba talking about you guys. I guess he said he dominated you when you were younger, and you didn't get to retort to that. So I was wondering if he said he kicked your ass in all the races. So
well, they were cheating. There's no secret. Go back and ask everybody. The Wallaces were cheaters in bandoleros and everything. But yeah, hey. How do I follow that up? I will say he did kick my butt pretty bad. He was they were really good in like bandos and legend cars, and they were always the car to beat. But I think they were cheating the whole years I was racing with them. But what was your other question? You got my mind flashing back to getting my ass kicked by him.
Just what it's going to be like in the car.
Yeah.
You know, with different temps.
Be nicer for me, like the drivers personally. Whenever there's cooler temps, like it's a little bit more manageable for us. Like it was hot last year. I know it was a night race, but especially with like the corner speeds being as fast as they were, the temperature being up, just how hard you were having to drive through the corners. You were kind of worn out. Like I was worn out after that race. So you're still working hard, but just the in cockpit temp is going to be 10, 15 degrees less, which will be a little bit nicer. I'll lose 4 pounds instead of 8, and that's not good for my figure, but it'll be good. Yeah.
We'll go to Ryan.
Become a race car driver. Personal sauna.
Ryan, kind of another racing experts. Guess branching off of the temperatures, how they're going to be this weekend. You had a cool suit failure at Pocono, and we've had more cool suit failures, I'd say than usual, over the past few weekends. What's been your experience with them, and are you going to be wearing one this weekend?
Yeah, I'll throw one in this weekend. I won't say I will wear one every weekend. It's just kind of tracking, weather dependent. Like I usually don't run one for like short tracks just because I don't like the weight in there and stuff like that. But here I'll run one. Yeah, and I had an issue at Pocono. That was more of we kind of messed something up on our side. That's why it didn't work. But yeah, there's been some system failures. I will say they've gotten a lot better than what they used to. Gosh, 5 years ago, I wouldn't run one because I was terrified of it breaking. And when they break, that's like worse just because the water boils and now you're sitting. Now it's a reverse of what it's supposed to do. So fortunately, since Pocono and kind of around that, I haven't really had any problems with it. But yeah, they're nice to run, and I won't run it all race. Like I'll flip it on occasions, But yeah, hopefully there's no failures. But it being cooler, that definitely helps. The summer months, those things get put through the ringer. You know, I mean, it's hot. Those systems, it's tough to keep up with the demand, and it's no wonder why they malfunction every now and then. But they've done a good job of improving them and continue to improve them.
Cool. We've seen only a few burnouts in your NASCAR career over all the series, but your last 2 wins, you've done burnouts. What's changed with that?
I don't know. In the moment, excitement level, Inman hasn't grabbed me by the collar in a while. But yeah, it just kind of depends on the weekend or race or things like that. So if we can do it tomorrow night, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Best of luck
Appreciate
this
it.
weekend.
Thank you.